family music. I'm coming back to where I belong. You're the reason why I'm singing this song. But I did you no wrong. But you broke my heart.
Hi guys,
we're Team Raffle.
I'm Sam.
I'm Yava.
And we're gonna bound. Okay, so today we're going to talk to you about why anyone would want to leave, move from the West, US, UK, specifically why we have decided that we're actually leaving. And really, correct me if I'm wrong, but really it boils down to the children a lot. We both have grown up in the UK, and we have so many awesome friends here. Obviously we're used to everything over in the UK. It's what we've called home.
Yeah.
But growing up in this system, you can see there's no system that is perfect. But myself, in regular intervals, have had intervals of just being told or reminded that it's not your country, or I've had so many positives, but there are regular bits where you remind you that you're actually where you're from, where your roots are, and it raises its head in so many different ways. From a racist teacher I had at school, from racism in the workplace. And again, I'm not saying that England is terrible. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that all the little pieces that keep flashing up regularly, the way the research done about immigrants coming into the country, and how young African kids outperform kids based in UK for the first year. And then after that, it goes rapidly downhill. There's a lot of indicators here that keep showing me that the soil that we're in is toxic for me, toxic for my family. The system, you've heard that a lot of time, seems to not quite fit. And so if the soil, the environment that you're in is toxic, why would you try to stay in it? A saltwater fish can't swim and live in fresh water, and vice versa. You wouldn't plant your seed, Yabba said this before, you wouldn't plant a seed in toxic soil. So as my children grow older and then soon start to not become cute and having to deal with certain situations, that will happen. They will happen. We're choosing not to want to have those conversations, or not to need those specific conversations, and go back to our roots, go back to the nucleus of our family. We have family over here. We're not just leaving and never coming back. But I think it's because, in light of a lot of things that are coming out now, we've been known that there's issues with policing and their policies. We've known this. I've lived through it. As a teenager, I've been, stopped ridiculous amounts of time and all sorts by the police. The first memories of dealing with the police were about 7 or 8. Whoa. Being stopped by policemen and made to put our hands up against a wall, playing runouts around the flats. It doesn't make sense. So I don't want that for my children. Okay? Again, 1 bad apple, 2 bad apples, 5 bad apples. I'm not interested in that. Yeah? Don't want apples anymore.
No more apples.
All right? And again, I have to reiterate, we have a lot of good friends, and that's not what I'm doing here. I'm not bashing the UK. What I am saying is I've realised that it's not the most fertile ground for my children. And if it's not the most fertile ground for my children, I need to look after my health too, and my wife's health. So I've done a lot of talking here, but I think that's one of the main reasons. On top of that, a very important reason is cultural awareness for my children. Growing up, that's one thing that my mother paid a lot of attention to. So there's a lot of gaps, obviously, because we're based over here and grew up here, but there's no two ways about it. She told me where I'm from and what I'm from and what my family are about and what heritage that we have. And in order to fill in the gaps from what's missing for my son and my daughter, sorry, B, you're really important too, that we need to go back and really get grounded in that. I mean, I have friends over here that can trace their family background back to the great tulip bubble back in whenever it was. And that's a powerful thing to know exactly how deep and rich your family history is, you know? So that needs to be done. I owe that to this next generation. And if I can inspire the other parts of our family to go back and research and have that self-confidence that brings, man, I've got to do it. Yeah. What do you think?
Totally. It's I think one thing I really stand by is, if you don't know where you're coming from, how do you know where you're going? And we are not taught about our own history, like the African history, and not just the Ghanaian history, but Africa as a whole. And we're not taught that in Ghana either, actually. And well, we haven't found anywhere that's teaching it. But how we've grown up, we had to actively find out where we were from, rather than just being by osmosis taught in our environment. And that's fine, because we are in the UK by choice. We know that, so we're choosing to take on the UK history, but we're making the active choice to find out where our family is from and make sure our children are deeply rooted in that, so they know and we know where we're going from there.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so many things that are different for ethnic minorities here, even maybe not to the extremes of the States, but there's still problems. The interactions with police, it's a different mindset to when I'm in Ghana and have an interaction with a policeman. Granted, I don't expect to die, and thank God all the police don't have guns over here, and it's not that serious a flashpoint. But if I talk about my youth, I've had friends die in police custody. Okay, it wasn't unusual back in, I'm not even going to say when it is because I feel like I'm really old, but these things happen. Harassment happens. Good policing interactions happen. But I just don't need what is it I'm talking about? The edge.
There's an edge to it. And there's an expectation to it. Like, you know that, you know what, I'm going to be out and about in the streets, just running, minding your own business. There's an expectation this might happen. And if it does happen, how do we prepare ourselves for that? If we do get stopped, how do we talk to the police? And these are conversations, if we choose to stay, that we actually have to have with our children. It's not like, should we have it? We have to have it. And it's something we don't want to be having. Teaching our children how to survive because they are a certain color in their skin it's not a basic human, it's against human rights, basically, in my belief. So for a male perspective, it's also quite different based on how you've grown up, being a young black male in the UK, to how I've grown up as a woman. I've not, for example, been chased down the streets by skinheads, which you have. My experiences have maybe been a bit more, but been internal in terms of standards of beauty and self-hate, and having to work through that into adulthood. But his have been very, very physical ones and very obvious ones, whereas there are some that aren't as obvious as well. We've got a son and a daughter, and for her to have to grow up maybe feeling that she's not quite as beautiful because the standards of beauty that are being portrayed are different. So it's very interesting with that, because there's a lot more representation out there in the media now of black families and black models and things like that, and successful black people. But even now, actually, the Christmas advert, the Sainsbury's Christmas advert, is causing a huge uproar in the UK, and a lot of criticism. The Sainsbury's Christmas advert is getting criticism. It's getting the comments are, disgusting about. Anyway, watch the advert. It is of a black family, fully black, not mixed family, fully black, just normal family. There's a specific song about dad's special gravy he makes over Christmas. Nothing too deep.
They're
And
just
it's
a happy
eating
family.
a happy black
It's
family.
just a happy family.
Eating their Christmas dinner.
Yeah, I was waiting to see what was the offensive bit.
I was waiting to see
and
the
it's
offense.
just happy black people.
It was just
waiting for
happy black
Christmas.
people talking about dad's gravy. The end. The comments were okay. So Sainsbury's is jumping on the BAME, the Black and Ethnic Minorities bandwagon. I guess it's not going to be a white Christmas. The comments were many, to the point where Tesco's has now cut out their black family section of their advert because of fear of backlash. Why should there be backlash? So for me, it nudges the discomfort that I've already got. It's uncomfortable. It makes you think, who else feels that way? Is my skin such a big deal that it's causing arguments and criticisms, and adverts are having to be changed yet again? So all I can describe it as is uncomfortable. And it has been for some time now.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean by there's a lot of small things that together can't be good for your mental health, and the word is toxic.
It's toxic.
The environment becomes toxic. You have to make too many changes to who you are for others to feel comfortable around you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's hilarious that we're now having to wear masks and going in shops. Can you imagine last year, 2 years ago, if I'm walking into a shop with a face mask on? Forget it.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it's a toxic situation, there's no point. It's madness doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Especially when you're aware of it. We are so aware of it. So why on earth would we want our children to experience the same thing and for them to normalize that feeling of discomfort? We will normalize it for them from the beginning. So that, I think, in itself has been the driving factor, the driving force. And we've had experiences in our own circles or environment of racist comments and things that people forget themselves. They forget they say things. At my place of work, I won't say who or when or how, but someone just made the comment that they think this whole COVID thing is because of all these foreigners that have come in, and just get all the foreigners out and let us deal with this. And I was standing pretty much next to this person saying this to someone else, and I thought, wow, ouch. The feeling was ouch, but thank you, because thank you for exposing your
It's better
belief.
we know what you're dealing with.
It's better you know the devil. It's better the devil you know, right? But that was their belief, and they're totally entitled to it. But I'm just grateful that I got to hear it, so I got to know the environment I truly am in. So again, not everyone, but it's a real thing.
And I'm all about the conversation. You know that about me. I think I don't have to agree with you or your views or what you stand for, but we both should have the freedom and the platform to talk.
Yeah.
Because it's assumptions made on one side or the other that causes havoc all over the place. Now, like I said, I don't have to agree with you. We may agree. Two people in a room won't agree on everything, but we both deserve the right to talk. And communication is the only way. At the end of every single war, there's been a chat and something signed, and the death wasn't the necessary bit. So communication is king. Like I keep saying, we have many, many friends here and many positive experiences, but all in all, it's a bit too toxic to raise children in.
It was, wasn't it? And I know, because we're quite happy in the UK. We have a good life here. But I think when we first had a child, when we had our firstborn, it changed it. But we were talking about schools and the environment. We didn't want him to grow up in a purely white environment. We wanted him to get some, I guess, towards his identity, to be in a more mixed environment. And we were looking around, okay, where should we maybe look for schools? And, we looked at the different areas around where we live now and things. And it all boiled down to, we just need to get this kid back to where he's from, which is...
Well, that's the
which
cultural
was Ghana.
awareness.
It was the cultural awareness, which
awareness.
he wouldn't get here anyway. So that plays a part too. And that's not something, that is a bad thing. It's just that the UK can't obviously provide his Ghanaian cultural awareness. So that was another little factor, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. We're all global citizens, and being any way to make that clear to our son and daughter, I'm all for. And we're going back and forth. What better way than to move through this ever shrinking planet?
Yeah.
And know that the restrictions that you had, we used to think that the block of flats was everything, or Camden was everything, or North London was everything, or London was. We can move out and move through this whole planet.
Yeah.
Until they start selling tickets to the moon.
The moon, which I think I heard they're on sale, so we're saving.
But yeah, so many people have asked us, why do we want to move? And really it's so we can have a real positive environment for our children to grow up in.
Yeah.
That nourishes them mentally, physically, spiritually,
emotionally,
and prepares them.
All the illies.
Yeah, it prepares them for the global citizenship that they're going to be, the global citizens
that they're entitled to be. Yeah.
B doesn't need to live thinking that her hair is bad hair.
No.
Benji doesn't have to walk around feeling like a threat.
And they don't have to see representation in the media and
negative.
For it to have to be then defended that it's okay to have a happy black family in the media. They will just see it all over the place as a norm. That's all good.
It's all good.
So have you guys got any experiences or any questions actually? Because like Sam said, we like a discussion. Like we like a good talk. So
communication.
Communication's key. So if anyone's got anything you want to talk about or talk more in depth about or your own viewpoints, please comment it below.
Okay.
Am I doing it? Am I? Okay. Please don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to share this journey with everyone you know. And then help us by also commenting any questions or any of your views in the comment section. Thank you guys.
Bye.
See you soon.
Smobby. Dream day got me on.
Starzy.
Oh, white family music. I'm going back to where I belong. You're the reason why I'm singing this song. Boy, I did you no wrong, but you.